So, our next review of the day is going to be for Gen V. Gen V is the spinoff of the hit popular Amazon show The Boys. Here we're dealing with college age superheroes here. And you see that there's a particular unit, there's a whole university dedicated to training and putting superheroes into the world and getting them ready to fight crime and do all this other stuff. So you see that it's basically like it's their Hogwarts. It's their, you know what I mean, place where they can go and they can train and they can use their abilities. And you see that there's different classes there that cater to it, like, you know, intro to crime fighting. You know, particularly if you have like, I guess, a more offensive superhero ability, like there's one character here that you see called Golden Boy, who's Luke, who has like fire abilities. And you know, there's also like a ranking system that you see in the college that people constantly talk about in the show, where it's like 1 through 10, or like even probably 1 through, I guess, however many students are in the school, where you see that and you see like that kind of ranks them all, and then that's going to set them up in the future to be like, hey, you're going to get this big contract, and basically you're going to go to this city and be the superhero there. It's almost like treated like how athletes are done. Like if you're a collegiate athlete and you're really high ranked and you get to be drafted and go to the NFL or NBA or anything like that, it's kind of treated like that also a little bit. And of course, with a show that is, you know, a spinoff of The Boys, Gen V, you're gonna see a lot of fucked up shit in this. You're gonna see a lot of messed up things. You're gonna see a lot of blood, a lot of things explode, body parts explode, a lot of freaky stuff when it comes to sex, violence, all that stuff. There, you're gonna see a lot of that in these first 4 episodes, and that's what Amazon did. So currently, they dropped the first 4 episodes of this, which I think is good. You know, that they do that. I think that gives you a good sense to kind of get into the show. They're dropping the first 4 episodes. I saw all 4 episodes, and Chris only saw the 1 episode, but I would still love to hear his thoughts on it about, you know, his introduction to the show, because even in that first episode, there's a lot going on there. In this show, you have the lead character here, who's a character called Marie. Marie, her power is she has to like slice herself open and then she kind of uses her blood to attack things. Like if anybody's ever played like Mortal Kombat or anything like that, it's kind of like Scarlet or something like that. She's able to kind of manipulate blood powers. Then you also have the character I mentioned, Luke, who's called the Golden Boy in here. He's able to, you know, set himself on fire, and he's also invulnerable. You also have a character called Andre here, who's played by Chance Perdorium. People might have seen him. He's been in things like The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. He was in that. Also, the woman who plays Marie is Jazz Sinclair. She was in, I believe that movie was called what? When the Bow Breaks, I think, was what that movie was called. She was like a stalker in that movie or something. There's also a character called Emma, who's played by Lizzie Broadway. She has the power to grow really small, but there's a messed up thing about her power where she has to like throw up in order to get really small. Usually people with these, you find like with these characters with their powers, there's like some weird kind of, you know, hinge to it. Like I said, the girl, she has to like slice herself to get the blood out. The girl has to like literally throw up, you know, like almost like what anorexic people do, like put their fingers down and throw up there. That kind of touches on a lot of, you know, female body issues there. There's another character who's called Jordan Lee, who she's able to switch genders like at will. She can become a boy 1 minute, a girl 1 minute, and then each of her genders has a particular power. Like the boy version of her, she's invulnerable, but then the girl version has like energy blast that she can shoot out. Then the storyline they have going on with her parents is very much, you can see it's like a trans allegory there kind of going on with that. Then you also have the character of Kate, who's played by Maddie Phillips. She's able to touch people, and like, you know, she has like almost like the power of like the woman from Umbrella Academy, where she can just touch people and kind of make them do what she wants them to do. Very similar to that. So, Chris, even though you've seen only the first episode, what are your thoughts on Gen V?
Immediately, and I think this is important for storytelling, the tone is established. It's darker. I think in The Boys, that team with MM and Frenchie and Butcher, their camaraderie, you know, it leaves a lot of room for comedic moments. In this show so far, there's not a lot of room for comedic moments. Of course, it's funny because, like you said, there's a lot of fucked up shit, a lot of freaky shit that happens, and it is funny because it's so like, what the fuck. But yeah, our main character, if we're getting the spoilers in the first episode, her powers, she was given compound V as a baby, but it didn't manifest until puberty, and she has her first, monthly, and she's scared naturally. She's bleeding, but she's not in pain. She doesn't know what's happening, and without any control, her fear, flight or fight, she weaponizes the blood and accidentally kills her parents. And there's that's trauma, and that carries on to her adult life. She wants to be a hero. She wants to prove to her younger sister that she's not a monster. But her powers. I don't want to say they suck, but man, oh man, like they're messy. Like she has to cut herself, and then it's either a whip or a spear, and then the blood like stays there, like as like a line, like a streak on the ground. I'm like, this is this is a lot. Clancy Brown, who was he revealed to be in season 3 of The Boys? Because I remember Starlight had a bone to pick with him, but I didn't remember why in this show. Can y'all tell me who he is again? Clancy Brown.
Professor Brink is who he's playing in Gen V.
Yeah, yeah. And in season 3 of The Boys, it was revealed like he had something to do with the Seven, and like Starlight went out of her way to find him and like hunt him down. I forget what he did wrong, but in this show, he's taken out by Golden Boy, the first episode. Yeah, it's darker. I would say it's darker in tone. The first episode wasn't as funny as some other premieres of season 1, 2, or 3 of The Boys. Maybe that'll change. I'll get right into it, later tonight and finish what's up. But like, it's a darker tone, and I forgot how wild and off the wall this universe of The Boys is. But so far, I am enjoying it.
Nice. The main kind of overarching theme of this show is that, like I said, you have these characters who are in this Hogwarts type school for people with powers. You know what I mean? They're training and learning things. And there's the underlying mystery of like, there's of course because Vought is running it, and Vought is incredibly corrupt. So there's something also weird going on underneath this school that they're doing, and they're trying to also figure that out about the certain people that kind of go that are missing and trying to find them. That I'll let you guys kind of watch in it and do these 4 episodes. And like I said, it is, a lot of these powers are very messy. With Marie's powers, like I said, she cuts herself there. And it just looks very painful and very, kind of weird. And then that's also a talking point through the episodes of the show is like, that's kind of gross. We don't know if that's going to market kind of well. You being a superhero, like you use blood and everything like that, that doesn't track very well. And so that's kind of like a talking point in the show. And then kind of seeing some other characters here who, of course, they all have their own deep issues. And it's a little bit of smaller scale. These people probably aren't as messed up as what we've seen from The Boys. Like a lot of the heroes there, like, those people are rapists and, like murderers and everything like that. It's not on that scale, but, it's a little smaller scale than that. They still, indulge in, those things of, kind of drugs and, alcohol and things. But they're still just trying to kind of figure everything out. And this very, look of like, I want to, make it out. I want to be successful. I want to be eventually the main goal is to be on the 7, to be a part of that. And being, trying to maintain a good record in order, like I said, about this ranking system that's there in order to be number 1, in order to make that dream come true. And you see some of their home lives as well. Like I mentioned, the Jordan Lee's character, like her parents, it's very much a reaction to like if you're the parent of a trans child, you know what I mean? It's like very much that kind of going on. And there's even moments where the character will have sex as a woman and then even have sex as a man at one point. So there's that going on with the character of, the character with the ability with the magnetic abilities here. What's his name? Andre. Do you know his father's name? Because I know that actor. He was in the Barbershop movies. His father. Sean Patrick Thomas, who he was a superhero himself. He graduated from the school. And there's very much a helicopter parent type effect kind of going on there. Of him putting a lot of pressure on his kid to be just like him, to be even more successful than he was. You kind of have that going on. So very good also to see him in it. Hello, how's it going there, Marvelous Film? How you doing there? Which I like quite a bit. Is from these first four episodes, people going like, well, should I watch it if I've seen The Boys and I like The Boys? I think it has that same kind of boys tone in it, but maybe trying to appeal to maybe a little bit of a younger audience there. If you're that, I think maybe it does that kind of successfully with the whole stuff of with kind of the Scooby-Doo nature of them trying to figure out this mystery and what's kind of going on. I am interested in that. I am interested to see where it goes. Marlo Film says Gen V feels more grounded. Somewhat, I guess, because it's kind of everyday lives here. It's not kind of on a bigger level here that you see with them dealing with kind of more maybe more bigger issues. And you will see some boys from characters from that show make a cameo in here, like the woman who's like the PR person for them. She makes an appearance here. There's also going to be Victoria Newman, who I believe is going to make an appearance here in the show as well, who's the politician. So there are some people who are going to come over to this show from it too that are recognizable to you, that connect to it. Yeah. So I think it falls within that line. If you are a person who's used to that weirdness and used to the boys' violence, you're going to be probably used to this and prepare for this. And then there's even some still things that they'll do that's going to shock the hell out of you. I can't wait for Chris. I think it's the last episode. You're gonna be going, ooh, ouch, during like the fourth episode. You're gonna know what I'm talking about, and you're gonna be messaging me like, what the fuck? There's a certain thing that happens. But yeah, I think this was a strong 4 episodes. I will be keeping updated and see where the series goes, and we'll do a final review of it when the whole season comes out. So Gen V, I would say right now, it's a tune in. I don't think it maybe has a strong of maybe a political message or social commentary as The Boys does.
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of more kind of issues about younger generations. Then maybe going to tap into them. About mention the person who uses her powers like purging. There's that. There's the issue with the gender. There's that. I think those are more kind of issues that are more going to appeal to a younger audience potentially.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's more young adult coming of age.
Yeah, more of that. Ayers, have you seen? Do you like The Boys much?
Yeah, I do like The Boys. I haven't really checked out any of the spin-off stuff, mostly because like I've got big superhero fatigue for real at the moment, so I'm not really rushing to check out anything with that shit. Like I feel like I gotta cleanse my palate more before diving back into that. But yeah, I think I will end up checking this out at some point eventually, if it's, from what I'm hearing, keeping up the same level of quality as like the mainline show.
Yeah. I would love to hear your thoughts. I recommend checking it out. So for me, tune in for Gen V.